Hey family, in this video, we're going to talk about 7 red flags in relationships.
Let's get to it. You're waving the red flag?
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Fire! Booyaka, booyaka. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, school better ring, booyaka, booyaka. Such a party pooper. Okay, jump in, Chica.
In this video, we're going to be discussing 7 red flags in relationships that you just can't ignore. Number 1, difference in spiritual directions.
Where you going?
You're going one way, he's going another.
Well, biblically speaking, the Bible says, how can 2 walk together unless they agree on direction or appointment?
Right.
What you have to realize is oftentimes in relationships, one person may be going north and the other person might be going northeast. Now it looks like we're going the same direction,
Right.
but over time, you're slowly separating.
Yeah.
And then we have this, we grew apart.
Right.
No, you didn't grow apart. You had different goals, which led to different directions. So we have to understand with a relationship, we first have to agree on the vision. Because if we don't have one vision, we'll reach division.
Right.
Too much division will lead to divorce.
And it's really sad, but in some relationships, you will find that you got into the relationship knowing that you were unequally yoked. And now that you're in the relationship and you know God created marriage, so how do you not have God in the center of your marriage and expect it to be successful?
Why do people get together unevenly yoked?
Because it's several reasons. Out of fear of being lonely, I think a lot of it is just fear of not being in a relationship and being alone. Wanting to have security in their life. You know, a lot of people have different reasons for wanting to be in a relationship, but I think it's just not trusting God at the end of the day. You're not trusting God to, provide you with the person that is supposed to be for you, right? So when you settle for someone that's unequally yoked to you, then you're gonna have problems.
It's a part of it. I think we have to believe, we have to have certain belief systems.
Right.
If not, if we don't believe the same thing, eventually that's going to lead to divide.
If you are dating someone and you find out that they don't attend church, they are not saved, you're saved, you serve in ministry, and you really like this person.
Well, I don't like them that much.
Right.
Well, because I have to understand that eventually the choices I make based on my belief system will run into a brick wall if we got together.
Right.
So then I have to drag them to church, drag them here, drag them there. Before you know it, it will become too much.
Right.
So I have to make sure before we even get that far down the road that we believe the main things.
Yeah.
You don't have to be perfect. None are, but we have to make sure we have agreement on the big stuff. And faith is one of the big ones.
I agree. All right, number 2, no fear of authority. I think if you don't have a healthy fear of God, then you're not going to want to obey what his book says as it pertains to marriage. And if you don't want to do that, how are you even going to structure your marriage? So if you don't believe that you should love your wife, as Christ loved the church, then how do we even begin to work on certain things? How do we even begin to heal? If you don't believe you should respect your husband, then how do we even grow from there?
Or you think that you can do certain things without consequences. See, if you don't have a healthy fear, you think you just get away with stuff. And you think as if there is no repercussions for your actions.
Right.
See, I've learned that I can't do certain things because it's not going to work out for me.
And a lot of people feel like, oh, well, if my spouse forgives me, then everything will be okay.
No.
Well, you still have to suffer consequences from God, because God is going to be the judge.
Yeah, you'll get forgiveness.
They can forgive you.
But the consequences?
It may not be what you want.
That's the mother.
It may not be what you want.
Number 3. Different priorities. Now here, this always is a problem because what may be important to you may not be important to her.
If family is more important to her and your career is more important to you, you're going to have some conflict in your relationship. And it's so important when you're talking about what's important to you and your priorities that they line up to an extent, or someone's willing to compromise, because not a lot of women that are career driven will say, I want to drop my career and be a stay-at-home mom.
No.
But then once they get into a relationship and they experience love, and they experience the benefits of being in love and being married to someone that God sent to you, then sometimes your priorities change, and God can change your heart on things.
Yeah.
But it has to be God. You can't change a person. Only God can change the person.
That's good, Charmaine. Number 4, lack of communication.
Oh my goodness.
We all have challenges in communication, and most of us are poor communicators.
Right.
So we have to understand that communication is an imperfect art, that we're always working on improving and getting better. And the key aspect is you have to realize you cannot over communicate.
Right. I think a key in communication with any couple is having code words and languages, because you know the person so well. You think you know what they're going to say, or you think you know what they're thinking. And just when you think you know everything, you figure out you don't know anything. So in communication, if you always just assume you don't know and you repeat what you heard and allow them to make any correction, then it's less misunderstandings and miscommunication.
Communication has not occurred until both of you have mutual agreement on what was said and what was heard.
And we both have to take equal responsibility in hearing right and communicating right.
Number 5, signs of abuse or manipulation.
Come on now.
The statistics show that 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men are in abusive relationships or have been abused. So hitting, verbal, any kind of abuse should not be accepted. Okay? Love does not abuse. And sometimes just because we don't think it's abuse and manipulation, it is a form of abuse. If you don't do this, you don't love me.
Right.
And if you love me, you would do this.
Now the thing is abuse should never be taken lightly.
Correct.
Because a lot of times if someone's going to abuse you, it's probably not their first time abusing someone, and they have an issue that you cannot correct. Only God can help them. So we don't recommend anyone staying in an abusive relationship. We believe in praying for them, but getting out of the situation.
Quickly.
Yes.
Number 6.
Secrets. This can destroy a marriage. You can turn a healthy relationship into a toxic one by holding secrets. The last thing you want is your spouse to find out something that you didn't tell them that everyone else knows but them. Or they find out something about you that you never shared with them through someone else. It's so hurtful. It breaks trust in a relationship. And it's really hard to gain back trust when it's something like a secret.
No, you have to. I mean, it's tough. But I think that if they're going to find out, it should come from you.
Absolutely.
And if it hurts and they want to leave, at least you told them, you know?
Last but not least, number 7, extreme dependence.
Oh my gosh.
When you can't breathe without the person, if you can't live a day without the person, when they're your everything, then who is God to you?
Yes, Jesus.
God has to be your everything. God, this person, your spouse can't make you happy. God gives you joy. Your joy comes from the Lord.
Come on.
You know, your positivity comes from the Lord. You live for God. Your purpose is in Him. So when you look to a human
to fill that void,
to fulfill everything, you're setting yourself up.
You're gonna live empty. So we have to make sure that the first priority is our relationship with God, and then our relationship with ourselves, then our relationship with our spouse, and then our relationship with our kids. So if you get the relationships in order, then you can start being healthy and have healthy choices. But ultimately, we don't want to put all of our joy, peace, hope, joy, happiness is responsible on another person.
Right.
That's what the Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding.
Yeah. That's just like your message at the very beginning of the year about alignment.
Yeah.
you have to have that alignment right in order for you not to be so codependent on your spouse.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share this message. And if you have not subscribed, please do so at this time. And remember, love, laugh, and learn. God bless you.
Peace.